dragons for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions is still live with you on night 1 of the NBA Finals. Kevin Walsh here on SportsGrid, where the Oklahoma City Thunder begin this series as -700 favorites and 10-point favorites in game number 1. We've put action on the board, but we've not yet heard from our guy, Coach James Young. You had to get him in the mix. JY, great to see you at the NBA Finals, man.
Guess who's here? And guess what you get? Every weeknight, you get JY, K-Dub. Who cares about the 4-letter network? This is the pre-game. Can we call it the pregame show?
I mean, we can, but you clean out every weeknight during the Finals. We won't be here tomorrow.
No. Every weeknight during the Finals. I will not be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. That's almost my bedtime. Every weeknight NBA Finals game will be here.
Coach is excited.
Very excited. And the Knicks are even playing.
And that probably is part of the reason why, because I think it would be a lot of nerves if we were breaking down Brunson versus SGA.
That'd be a problem.
Instead, we're breaking down Halliburton versus SGA. I want to start here, Coach. What are you expecting from these two guards in this series, where I think both have a lot on the line, status-wise, league-wide?
Yeah, I think this is going to be intriguing to match up with these 2 point guards, even though I don't think they're going to guard each other.
Agree fully.
I fully expect, and it'll be interesting. That's the one thing I want to watch right off the bat is I want to see who Rick Carlisle puts on SGA. You're going to think it's Naismith, but you got to look at the fact that this is.
I think Nembhard. I think Naismith. I think Nembhard's too small to guard J-Dub.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Is I want people to understand this. This is completely different for Naismith than it was in the last 2 rounds. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, all 6'1" or smaller. Me and K-Dub can roll those 3 guys in the little post. How you doing? But when you look at it, this is 6'6" and 6'5" on J-Dub and obviously SGA. So now you're looking at is who guards who. That's the one thing I want to know right off the bat. Who Naismith guards and then who does Nembhard guard? Because here's the thing. You're not putting Halliburton on either one of them because that's not good. The
only interesting thing with Halliburton, if he guards Shea, because maybe you're going to need so much help, starting with Halliburton's length, you could sell me on. I just think physically he can't guard J-Dub.
No.
I think J-Dub I think you're going to want Pascal on J-Dub a lot, but, and this is Coach and I immediately getting into the weeds, which I love.
No, this is great. And I love this. And I love we're talking about this because this is where my head's going, to your point. I wonder if that's the case, when does Carlisle go ready? Go Siakam, Obi, and then Turner, because who's guarding Chet? Like, that becomes the next chess pieces. Does Carlisle end up going big, or does he go double big with Turner and Bryan? Oh, my goodness.
I'm so glad we did this. All right, so ready? So this is what I've been trying to figure out. So I think that when OKC is big with Chet and Hartenstein, they're in a bit of a tough spot because Pascal and Turner have to guard those guys. Mm-hmm. You're not putting anyone else on those guys, which is why I'm on Hartenstein tonight. But when they go small, which they still will because I think Dagnall loves it, I think that basically the Pacers will stay big because then you're going to put Miles on Chet. And Pascal's, they're, I think, easily the best option to guard J-Dub on this team, especially with Naismith maybe not 100% entering the series.
Yeah, so I think that becomes very interesting of how you look at it. So one of the props I'll tell you that I love right now is I love Miles Turner over 5.5 rebounds at plus money.
I'm on his points and rebounds.
Okay, so we're in the same boat. Here's why. He didn't hit one of the games in the next series. He was guarding Cat. He was at the three-point line.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at Isaiah Hartenstein. If he's guarding Hartenstein, elbow, dunk spot. So he's around the basket, and if Indiana wants to break out, they need him to grab the rebounds occur and get it out there. So when you're looking at props and the way Kevin and I look at things, that's why I love that he's on it with obviously Turner points, rebounds. We see things differently. This is not some analytical no. It's literally like we look at the game, we're watching the game, we're giving it to you how we see it based off of how teams play, not necessarily what the analytics say all the time.
It's one of the reasons that both Hartenstein and Turner jumped out to me because not only do they fit this matchup stuff we're talking about, but they also both profile for big bounce back spots due to the fact that Turner didn't rebound at all against the Knicks and Hartenstein didn't play that much against Minnesota. I would say, and this is a great question, so I'm on Hartenstein over 14.5 points and rebounds. Love it. My favorite bet
Love
here.
It.
If you're Dagnall, it's game one, right? So, okay, maybe by game 5, Hartenstein's playing 15 minutes. But game 1, don't you want to get him back in the groove and play 20 to 24 minutes like he used to play?
Yeah, I think it's really important to give Isaiah Hartenstein going because I think that when they go that double big lineup, I think that creates the most chaos and problems for Indiana because now how do you match up with them?
Yeah.
So they need Isaiah to get going. The fact is that push floater, his ability to rebound, I think, crazy as it sounds, it's 230.5. I think this game's going over. I think that Indiana's going to do what Indiana's going to do, and I honestly think OKC is very comfortable running up and down a little bit. Yeah. I just think when it comes down to locking it down defensively, they do so. So I think both centers play really critical roles in this series. There's also something I saw of series long prop. It's plus 240, Miles Turner, 10-plus points in every game. Yes, a player special on FanDuel. I would take a look at that because when you look at the fact of how Miles Turner's got to play, if we think that there's going to be tempo, if we think that OKC, with obviously with SGA, with Dort, with Caruso, with Wallace, if they can keep throwing guys at Halliburton, then the scoring's got to come from other places and not just Siakam. I think Miles Turner can get loose. 10-plus points at plus 240, and then minus 115 for SGA, 25-plus every game I love as well. It was tough because DK had it a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
it was at plus 150, but they only gave you 1 day to do it, so you probably missed the mark. But still, I think SGA should be able to get to his numbers in a series.
Yeah, I think SGA, and you kind of take it back of what is on the line for certain guys in the series. And I told you, we talked about this a little bit with best player in the world.
Yeah.
And I'd prefer to do it when the season is over, but I just was so bothered that every Shea conversation was about free throws. I said, let's just do it now. He's the best player in the world to me. And a lot of people still think it's Jokic. In fact, I actually think there are more people who would put Shea 3 than number 1, which I think is ridiculous. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is favored, and I think we both expect to win MVP and Finals MVP in the same season, first since LeBron was in Miami. That's a long time ago. And en route to that, the number 1 seed in the Western Conference and eliminated Nikola Jokic's Denver Nuggets. I think that is a title that if you are not ready to give SGA, while I somewhat understand it, my question to you, what more do you need to see? Maybe these finals will swing you. If he averages 30-plus a game, if he goes for at least 25 in every game, if they get rid of the Pacers in 5, 6, well, that becomes 4, sweet. I think that all can start to swing it here. We'll talk more about this. We'll get into all of these different options here. We'll get coach's thoughts on where Shea is league-wide, and I do want to Tyrese Halliburton, that top 10. We'll talk about it right here on SportsGrid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages. Let's get lucky.
We're live with you right here on SportsGrid, and I am seeing something from 8 minutes ago that looks to be very legit, but I just would love to find it in a few other spots to tell you that it is 100% the case. I'm not trying to gatekeep from anyone. Okay, here we go. Yep. All right. So it is seemingly now confirmed. The Oklahoma City Thunder have changed their starting lineup.
Oh, God, no. Let me
going into the NBA Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. Kassan Wallace gets the start over Isaiah Hartenstein.
What a dumb move.
Tell me why.
Because we just talked about the last segment that the best way to get these guys is going double big lineup with Holmgren and Hartenstein. And then what you do is you force Siakam to take J-Dub, or he's got to turn around and he's got to guard Chet Holmgren. Now what you're going with the single big lineup is they can match up. Now you have Siakam going to J-Dub. You have Miles Turner guarding Chet. This is literally you don't do this game one of the finals. Like this is Mark Daigneault panicking and looking at the other side where he should be the aggressor and say, no, I'm gonna make Rick Carlisle go to his 10.
So again,
I can't believe this.
So first of all, let me just say this: as far as the Hartenstein bet, I would not bet it anymore. I hope I win. I apologize if it's a loser. I think it can still be a winner, but I've never seen what this is all is going to look like with Hartenstein coming off for the bench.
Don't get it.
I know there's 4 games he came off of the bench. I was not expecting that to be the case here in game number 1, so the minutes now get really tricky. Let me see if there's been, or I'm sure there's been some level of movement here. How, down to 12.5 now for the Hartenstein number. I think it can get there. I really do. Kassan Wallace, in terms of the points prop, is at 7.5 now. I think it's up from 6.5. So, all right, let me throw another piece of this all. Let me just quickly. I felt that the Wallace-Caruso duo was actually better equipped to guard Halliburton than Lou Dort. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but again, I think basically those guys and their defensive style of getting really low and into a guy's dribble every single time is more threatening to Tyrese Halliburton than Lou Dort, who tries to bully ball physical, because Halliburton is never trying to win the physical battle anyway. So, from that respect, I see Wallace-Caruso. Again, but for me, Dort would have been my sacrifice a little bit more than Hartenstein, because I do now think the Pacers are better equipped to actually guard Indiana. But I think to JY's point, you go one of two ways. Either Mark Daigneault is getting out in front of something, or he's panicking, or and maybe panicking is unfair, but he seems to be, do you really need to do this before the first game?
That's why, listen, I think it's one and the same. It's adjusting and panicking at the same breath. Like, at the end of the day, that also means that, honestly, Kevin, he's concerned with the start of the game. And obviously the line is now moved up to Indiana getting 10, so they must like this, which I don't. I mean, I'm on the first half, Pacers plus 5.5. It speaks to a level of concern that Daigneault has in regards to how we equip to play them. It also means that the over/under is now dropped by a point from 230.5 to 229.5. So they're bringing it down a little bit defensively, and they're moving the line up. But to me, I don't see the need to do it game 1, Kev. Like, if you get off to a poor start, game 1, you want to do it game 2. But then we talked about the importance, Kevin, about how to get Hartenstein going, and then you're going to bring him off the bench? Like, that's the exact opposite you want to do. I'm not saying you want to give the guy 5 shots in the first quarter, but hey, we need you to get going. We're going to bring you off the bench now. We'll see if that works.
Well, so that's the really interesting thing is you always want to be able to, and sometimes these, it's you make your adjustments, right? Did Daigneault already make one of his adjustments in this series, but that means you moved one of your moves out? Like,
yeah,
if at some point we see Hartenstein starting in this series, does that mean that they messed up? Like, this is the really interesting thing, and I'm very glad we're here. If they lose tonight,
you're going to look right at this.
Like, I don't know. We will look at this. I can't promise you it'll be why, but is he gonna go a different starting lineup in game 2? That would be a nightmare.
Yeah, for a team that, listen, when you're a starter, you want to get in rhythm and play a certain way. But it's impacting everything we see, right? I told you I like Miles Turner. It was at 5.5 at plus 102, 103. It's now 5.5 at plus 128. Because now what happens is it changes my whole outlook when I'm dealing with Miles Turner, because now he's got to guard Chet, which means Chet's got to go to the perimeter.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that mean, folks, too, is that means that there's going to be more driving lanes. So I think that becomes interesting is there's more driving lanes and there's going to be more kick-out three opportunities. So a guy like me that did take Lou Dort to lead the series in threes, that may open it up because now you have SGA driving, now you have the help, now you step out and hit shots. That also means, folks, that have a three-point prop that you could be looking at if you have one shot blocker in there because of J-Dub going to Siakam. Chet threes may become pretty interesting because that's where the help may come from the big. That could open up a 3 or 2 for Chet Holmgren.
So I'm just trying to go through how many times this season have we seen, this starting lineup from OKC when everybody was available, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I am finding 3 games, okay? There was one against Atlanta on the road. Hartenstein off the bench played 27 minutes, had 13, 10, and 6. At Boston, but Aaron Wiggins was a starter in that game, so J-Dub was out. So I don't know what, factor to that play. And then an April game against Detroit, where Hartenstein was off the bench, had 5 and 8 with 6 assists again. We'll be right back here on SportsGrid.
Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid. As much as I want to spend another 6 minutes and then another 6 hours figuring out this decision by Mark Dagnall, I want to give you all of our bets, and then we're going to go back to Isaiah Hartenstein not starting after that. JY, give me all of it, everything you're playing for the NBA Finals, Game 1, series long.
Okay, I'm going Pacers first half plus the 5.5, and maybe 6.5 now because of the line movement. Over 230.5, now it's 229.5. SGA over 33.5. I don't know who guards him. Miles Turner over 5.5 rebounds. Now it's up to about a plus 128. Series long bets. Under 5.5 games, I just think whatever Indiana does, OKC does better. They're on steroids. I think this is over in 5 or less. SGA 25+ in every game, minus 115 on FanDuel. Take a look at that. Lou Dort, most threes made. I actually feel a little bit better with this because now I think that he may get some open shots as they come off of him. I know we don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to mention really quick. 2 WNBA games. One is already going on. Other one, Mercury Valkyrie, under 157.5. Mercury number 3 in defensive rating in the WNBA. Phoenix number 10 offensive rating. Golden State 12 offensive rating. No Alyssa Thomas, no Kalia Copper. Phoenix playing a little bit different style of basketball. Could be under 157.5.
All right, so some juice there from the W from JY, which you got to appreciate. A couple of additional series prices there. Series long, some records. I think history could be in play here with the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Either team to break the Celtics single-game NBA Finals point scored record, 149 or better. That is at 17-1. 50 or more points scored in a quarter by either one of these teams, which would get the Cavs record. Shout out LeBron James. Okay, that was 29-1. Those numbers did drop a little bit, but, and I don't mean from there. At one point it was 20-1 and 35-1, so people were clicking those. I'm clicking them as well. I think OKC could absolutely have a 50-point quarter in this series against this Pacers team at this pace. I also think it's OKC. I'm just going the other way. I think it's in 6 or 7. I think that having the better coach in Rick Carlisle, and I think the way that the Pacers have been able to steal games in a way that very few other teams seemingly can, paired with the Thunder being sneaky bad on the road relative to expectations. They're 0-7 against the number on the road, by the way, in these playoffs. I think that this is a 6 or 7 game series, even though I'm still super, super confident it ends in a win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tonight, Miles Turner over, 18.5 points. I do have some points plus rebounds parlays. 9.5 Hartenstein, 12.5 Turner, 18.5 for Siakam and Chet. That's even money up to plus 130. And then we have a little bit of a longer shot, 665. Halliburton, SGA, and J-Dub all over their rebounds plus assist prop. 11.5 J-Dub, 12.5 SGA, 13.5 Tyrese Halliburton. My favorite bet for tonight is Isaiah Hartenstein over 14.5 points plus rebounds. And then they benched him. So now I wonder, am I done? Have I found myself on the other side of it? I'm doubling down. Over the 12.5 now is my new best bet. I think it goes over 12.5. I think it goes over 14.5. He has played 4 games off the bench for the Thunder in those games. 5-8, 11-6, 13-10, 13-14. That is 13 or more in all of them. There's 2 double-doubles in there. I'm trusting Isaiah Hartenstein, JY. My question again, is there a world where maybe Dagnall is not thinking maybe about the starting lineups as much as when I take Chet off the floor, I want to bring Hartenstein on the floor, and maybe Hartenstein can attack second units for Indiana in a more dangerous fashion? Is that on the board?
I mean, that could be a possibility, but, then the fact is, then if you're looking at splitting the minutes, now you're going to split the minutes between Chet. Like, how many minutes is Chet going to lose? Because Chet's still going to play big minutes. So it kind of more speaks to him looking at how he's going to guard Indiana and not how Indiana's going to guard him. It's amazing to see a chess match already happen right away. It makes you think that Dagnall's worried about what Carlisle could have up his sleeve game 1, because let's be honest, game 1s of on the road, Indiana went into Cleveland, beat Cleveland. New York left for dead, came back and stole it. So I think he's a little worried about the start to this series.
I'll also throw this out there for the Hartenstein piece specifically. But now maybe he's a little more blowout proof, because when they would blow teams out and he was starting, he's not out there, but now as a bench guy, maybe he can still get his minutes regardless.
And really, Kevin, to that fact, maybe you're looking at the fact of if it's a blowout, I give him more minutes because I may need him to play better the rest of the series as well.
A fascinating chess match, as JY said, that is already underway. Kevin Walsh, Coach James Young, setting you up for the NBA Finals. In-game live. We'll handle the rest.
Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics, then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where
major
is.
The goalpost got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. This, I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The early.
See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to.
So, on Friday on YouTube, they're going to give everyone that game for free. They're so generous because the rest of the season, they're going to fleece you for all your money.
That's one, Scott. That division, to me, based on what's happened to the Chiefs the last couple seasons, that division, the AFC West, could be up for grabs here. I know Chiefs fans think I'm probably out of my mind.
Pharrell, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
I actually like the fact that they went 7 games against a quality opponent here and still had to face adversity even in a game number 7. How are we setting up this next series where they rested Minnesota Timberwolves team taking on OKC fresh from the fight here?
They had an extremely, maybe it's just too strong a statement to say, easier pathway than people thought, particularly because of their size.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It's in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1 of our 1.5-hour extravaganza. We start a little bit later with the NBA Finals beginning in about probably 10-15 minutes or so. Dave and I will take you to our usual 10 p.m. Eastern time, wall-to-wall NBA, or a few baseball games, but obviously the main focus, NBA Finals, Dave, game number 1. And this is a great explanation today on why you don't play midweek baseball games as well. We'll get to that, I am sure. No 5 on the line tonight because you know what? We don't have 5 games. We just got the NBA. They cleared the slate for everything except the NBA. So it's a beautiful thing from that standpoint. So how are you tonight, my friend? Getting set for game 1?
K-Dub and JY got us going, and, that's good. And, we're getting ready for the game. I got the Cubs stuff on, and I know we do trends and 5 on the line every night. I got this one for you, and it's a shame that it's already out of hand probably and too late to even do anything with it. But the Cubs have only been shut out 3 times this season, okay? Yesterday was one of them. How did they bounce back from their previous shutouts? 16-0. They beat the Dodgers on April 12th and 9-2 rout of the Giants on May 5th. Tonight, 5-0 right now over the Nats in the after 6. So far so good for the Cubs. We'll keep an eye on Fried's dealing in New York for the Yankees. We'll have the baseball. We'll have an eye on the baseball. But you're right, day baseball today, treacherous.
Yeah, I don't play it. I really don't. I tell the guys all the time, don't play day baseball because you're not getting the real lineups. You're not getting the real catcher. You're not getting the real bullpens because they pitched the day before. And 9 times out of 10, it's getaway day. And these are human beings. You don't know where their minds are at. White Sox win. We didn't have the Colorado Rockies, fortunately, playing. But the A's did, in fact, do what they had to do and snap their little 1-20 slump, crushing the Minnesota Twins. So those just... endless examples of how things don't normally happen during day baseball games. So craziness for sure. NBA, though, that's the story tonight. Game 1 starting. The line, by the way, is up to 10 now. Over-under is down to 229.5. Little movement there. I think there's better movement in the line moving up to a half a point than, an over-under going down a little bit. I will give you some trends here in a little bit, Dave, but trends do say under tonight, and the trends do say OKC as well today.
Yeah. I say OKC wins tonight, and the series price is reflective of that. Minus 700, meaning you got to lay 7 to win 1 on OKC, take back about 5 to 1. Tonight's line, minus 9.5, you got to lay 460, which is actually, a bit of a bargain versus the, series price. It is up to 10, 10.5 in some places. I think books are right now going, okay, this game's getting ready to tip. Let's see if we can go grab a big bet, limit play, maybe on the Pacers, because I think you got a lot of little bets, but you don't have one big bet. So that explains the line movement. Now, the total, really not sure, because if OKC wins, I think we get an under game. And if OKC wins and covers, I think it's even more of an under. If the Pacers cover, we got a shot at getting this thing over.
All right. I got a big payoff for you. That's the SGP same game parlay. Let us throw that out right now. All right. I think Indiana has a shot in this series. Don't know if they win. Won't call it outright, but I do think they win tonight. And if they don't win tonight, then the series is over. I'll explain in a bit, but let's throw the SGP out there. Give me Indiana plus the 370 outright. Don't want the 9.5, 10 points, 10.5, whatever it is. As my good buddy Arnie Spanier would like to say, love the 9.5, but we don't need the 9.5. Let's go outright. Let's go under 230.5. I got some trends that would tell you why it's under 230.5, maybe 229.5 now on FanDuel anyway. Let's go Tyrese Halliburton, 20 points. I don't see Indiana winning unless Halliburton scores at least 20. And then let's go with Alexander over 1.5 threes. We have that prop bet of him getting at least 1. I think you'll get at least 2. It's only minus 130 to tell you the truth. So add it all up, and it's a nice fat Dave, 37.5 to 1. Or 27, 27.5 to 1 on Indiana. Basically, you're doing Indiana and the under, which should pay you about 10 to 1. Since you're using the money line, this is going to bump it up with those 2 other prop bets up to 27.5 to 1.
Wow. That's, you've done a lot of crazy stuff with the same game parlay. You're really taking your shot here with this one. I would have rather you taken the points, but I guess if they're going to get got, it could be the first game of the series. All right, here we go. The total contrasts with what I just said, so I feel like I'm off there as well. So I will just tip my hat and say good luck to you, sir. Hopefully, you'll be in this game at least through halftime and don't have a big comeback. Because we've seen it in the past. The theme of the NBA playoffs, especially a bunch of nights in the Eastern Conference, was big comebacks. I don't know if the Pacers are going to come back big if they get down big to OKC. So hopefully we get a close game at least while we're here and before we hand it off to Gabe and Kim.
Yeah. You want to hear a good stat about Indiana?
Yes.
They've been down, this is a little alarming, but they've been down 7 games this postseason by 15 points or more. Yet they're 4-3 in those games.
Wow.
So it's tough to bury that team.
7
You want to know
times?
why? Yeah, I know that's a lot, right? For a team that's 4-1, 4-1, and 4-2, as far as winning those series, they've been down 7 times. I don't know how, but they have. All right, I got 6 reasons for you, Dave, why the Indiana Pacers will win this series. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
This is my favorite. I'm going to give you this one first. Oklahoma City, they tend to forget, they were actually down 2-1 with Game 4 being at Denver. They were a couple of buckets away from trailing that series 3-1 and maybe not even being here. So they're not the be-all, end-all.
Nope.
Indiana can't lose back-to-back games. 28-12 this season off a loss, including 4-0 straight up and against the spread in the playoffs are the Pacers.
That's impressive. Okay, that's two good ones. I like that. What else you got?
Can't kill them. There's the 15 points, trailing 7 times. They're 4-3 this postseason, went down 15 points, so they're never dead.
Okay.
How about this one? Last 12 road games, 10-2 straight up and against the spread. But OKC is only 8-4 and 4-8 against the spread, including 0-7 this postseason. You know, the Thunder have yet to cover a road game
on the
this
road.
playoff,
Yeah,
0-7.
Yeah,
So
that's going to be a big difference in the series. If Indiana can get one on the road, obviously they can win the series. OKC doesn't have to win a road game to win the series. What else you got?
Right. Last 24 games, who's got the better record? How about Indiana? 19-5 versus 18-6. So
okay, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Okay, right? I mean, who would?
Yeah.
And then the last reason why the Indiana Pacers will win this series, the last Eastern Conference team to win at OKC. Keep in mind, they were undefeated this year against the Eastern Conference. You had to go all the way back to 2 seasons ago. I'll give you one guess who the last team was.
The Indiana Pacers. How about that?
March 12th. How about that? So, Pacer
good case,
fans, you need a little, yeah, right. You need a little giddy up, a little giddy up to your boasts. You got some there that are halfway decent, right?
That's not bad. That's good reporting right there. That's good fact finding. We'll see. It's 7-0 OKC to start the game.
Well, don't let facts get in the way of good rant. This is one of our famous quotes on the podcast. You don't let facts get in the way of good rant. We don't need facts here. 7-0 already.
It's up to 12.5.
Good gravy.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, yours truly until 10 p.m. Eastern time. Watch a little NBA, a couple of baseball games as well. So, all right, we can breathe now, Pacer fans. It was 7-0. Maybe even been 10-0. I'm not sure, but it is 10-10. So we could take a little sigh of relief. It is down to 8.5. I'm not sure how high it got. I think you said you saw it at what, a 10.5 or 11, Dave, and the over/under was 27.5.
I saw
12
as
and a
high
half.
as 12 and a half. Yeah. So when it was 7-0, it went up to 12 and a half, and some books had 13 and a half. So you got that quick start, quick fast move up. Totals at 227 and a half. So whoever's watching the total thinks it's going to stay at this pace or go a little bit slower. But yeah, 10-10, and they're bouncing it between 8.5 and 9.5 right now while we have a little pause of play.
Okay.
So I think we're going to see multiple runs, right? Like this is going to be one of those games where it's going to go like that. There's going to be three possessions in a row by one team and three possessions in a row by another team. I mean, at some point here, very soon, if they come out of the timeout, Indiana gets the lead. Both teams will have had a lead 5 minutes into the game. So I think we get back and forth for a little while. This is good.
All right, let me throw out and let this breathe a little bit. Let me throw out why the OKC Thunder. We did Indiana, why they're going to win. How about the OKC Thunder? Why they're going to win the NBA championship? Tell you, some of these numbers are really like wow, right? Why are the OKC Thunder going to win, you ask? Well, how about OKC this year, Dave, was a remarkable 29-2 straight up. And look at that against the spread record. 23-6-2 against the spread, including a game against Indiana at home. I mean, not only did they win games at home, they obliterated team. I mean, that is just a phenomenal spread record, right, at home?
Which is really strong because they're laying points in every one of those games. They're laying probably close to double digits or more in every one of those games. Very impressive there for OKC. What else you got?
All right. Teams that open up the finals, game one, as 8-point favorites or more. This is the 10th team to do so. This is the 11th team to do so. 11. The previous 10, 9-1 in winning the title.
Wow.
Which tells you the favorites that are supposed to win really do win.
Yeah. Again, you made such a good case last segment with all those points for Indiana. And then you put that one on there, and I go, yeah, OKC in 5 or 6. But what else? What else you got?
All right. This is the 10th time in the last 12 seasons a team won 10% or more games than the team they're facing. The previous 9, 8-1. In the series, and even more impressively, 35-16 as far as the games. Like, it's not even close.
Wow. Okay. Another one that makes me go, okay, that -$7, probably not high enough.
Yeah. All right, number 3 on our list. We've talked about this one before. OKC, 61 of their 80 wins have come by double digits. That's mind-boggling.
That is unbelievable. That is really strong. I mean, we gotta put that up there. Number 4 is OKC crushing teams. 61 of their 80 wins are by double digits. Man, that's strong.
So, all right, number I don't know how we got
number
to 5. I've only given 4. So this is okay.
This is number 5.
Oh no, I did. My bad. We're going back. Yeah, we're going in reverse. Never mind. So yeah. Number 5.
Going.
OKC. Yep. The 11th team to be favored by -6-1 in the series in the last 50 years. The previous 11, actually the 12th team, my bad, 10-1. With the only win being the Pistons over the Lakers. That year the Lakers got, Gary Payton and Karl Malone, and, they were fighting on the bench and everything. But all the other big-time favorites this big have won.
Well, again, you keep these points coming, and everything you did in the first segment with Indiana points is like going out the window. You got another one here for this?
Yeah, I got 2 more. Indiana is the 7th team to win series as conference semifinal underdogs and conference final underdogs. They were against Cleveland and then the Knicks. The previous 6, 1-5 in the finals. Only the 95 Rockets were able to emerge as underdogs and win again in the finals.
Uh-huh.
So,
okay, that doesn't loom very well for the Pacers.
good.
Boy, oh boy, you're really
Yeah.
making a strong case, counselor. This is going to be a
I
tough
know.
one. What else you got?
Last one. If that's not good enough, Indiana is the 8th team to enter the finals with a win total at the beginning of the season of 46.5 or less. The previous 7.
I'm going to guess. Wait, don't say it. I was going to say. I was going to say 0. 0. Yeah. Because those win numbers, man, those are pretty strong. Those are pretty reflective of good teams like to get to the finals and actually win. So I can't say it's a total surprise and shock that they're here, but it looks like they're a total shock and surprise. You got one more big one here. What is this?
I don't know. I only had that. So I'm surprised me, fellas. What else
Pull this up.
what else do we have?
Yeah. I'll read this one. Why will OKC win? Why lay 9.5 points over the last 11 seasons? Outright winners are what? 55, 3-3 ATS in the NBA Finals? Wetzel.
Yeah.
What is that?
How crazy is that?
55, 3-3? That's ATS?
Yeah. That's ATS. According
That's
to
the best stat I've ever heard.
Yeah. According to Action Network, which is where I got a lot of these from. Love those guys. I mean, I got a whole slew of like why laying 9.5s. That's why I thought there was more. There are a lot more. I didn't give the guys everything. We'd be here all day reading these stats.
Okay.
But that was the best one. It's just like, yeah, these big time favorites in the finals, they don't lose. They really just don't lose. So interesting. All right, we'll take a look at the game. Let it breathe a little bit and see if we get some winners tonight.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of thoughts.
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave closing out our first half hour, starting at 8:30 tonight with the NBA Finals, obviously, but here for another full hour. So it's a little break in the action, just under 5 minutes left. 14-10 Indiana. Over-under is down to 21.5. The line is still 10.5. And I'll explain. I'll get into the over-under here. Some monster under trends, Dave. But as we were talking in a break, the NBA Finals, I tell you, you don't get that many upsets. You really don't. So that last one we were talking about, I should have laid it out a little bit better. My fault. That if you were like the OKC tonight, but who wants to lay 9.5 in an NBA Finals game, right? Well, over the last 11 seasons, the outright winners of these games are 55-3-3 against the spread. So obviously that incorporates underdogs winning outright. So obviously they're going to cover the spread. But I mean, only 3 teams. This is one of those stats where I got to look this up. There's only been 3 teams over the last 61 NBA final games that have lost the game but covered the spread.
Hard to believe. It's really hard to believe. But I mean, when you go back, and I don't know how many games that would, or how many seasons that would go back. We'd have to
11,
actually look.
11.
So it's 11 seasons. All right. So, I mean, I was in the book 6, 7 of those seasons. I could tell you this, when the favorite won, it felt like they covered. And when a dog won, obviously they covered. So we always, we search that out during football season. There's always that time of year where it's like, don't even worry about laying the points. They're 6.5. If they win, they're going to win by 7 or more. It's true. There's trends like that I guess continually happen in the NBA Finals. Now, I mean, there's other trends like this where, 61 wins by double digits this season for OKC Thunder. You need another reason to lay 9.5. There you go. That seems pretty easy. 8-1 straight up, 7-2 ATS at home this playoffs. So you can make the numbers say whatever you want. Right. But man, that's a nice case for the OKC side.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking is, you don't get too many 9.5s. I will say that, right? No. Theoretically, best team in the East, best team in the West. What are you going to get? 2, 3, 4 point, maybe 5 point spreads. So if the team is winning, chances are you're going to win by, more than 3, 4, or 5. It's not like a regular NBA game where, you get point spreads in the teens. So theoretically, you got the 2 best clubs. So the point spreads aren't going to be that high. But I will tell you, since 2013, NBA final home favorites of 4.5 points, 26-7 straight up, 21-10-2. So again, these teams just don't lose at home. It's amazing, not when they're like considered decent, favorites of 4.5 points or more.
Right.
And here's the worst one of all, as far as like laying points too. If you're, Indiana taking points, number 4 seeds. This is a little goofy, but number 4 seeds, as Indiana is in the finals since 2018, 4-16 straight up, 7-11-2 against the spread. So they're up against it. They are. But I still think, Dave, they got a shot today because of OKC being off 7 days.
Well, I think that's the X factor. Yeah, that's the X factor. Right. All this rest. I mean, for both teams. I mean, Indiana's a few days less, but yeah, this is a long time to be off. So we'll see. I mean, the under pace is on tremendous track right now. So it's down to 220.5. First half under looks good. We got some first half under trends here. What does that say? First half under is 66, 44-4 since 2005, including 18-4 in the last 4 finals. What? First half under 48, 28-4 in games 1 through 4. So now you see in the beginning, right? A lot of unders. This is exactly the way this thing's playing out right now. So it's crazy. We got 3 minutes left, and the first quarter line was 3 or 3.5, and it's going to fall right around that number. Unless something drastic happens, the way this is going back and forth, kind of walking the ball up the floor, minimal trips to the free throw line, it's going to fall right around that number. You think they cover the first quarter? OKC, -3.
I would say, yeah. The way it's looking now, yeah.
Okay.
By the way, here's a little bonus on the under, which is why we gave it out to the boys on the podcast. 8 straight NBA final games have gone under. 8 straight. Since 2013, overall 38 unders, only 28 overs. So 10 more unders than overs with a couple of pushes.
Okay.
So that's why I like game one under. History says under. All right, hour number 2 coming up next.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in game live. Game day on the grid. Flying along here. Hour number 2 of our hour and a half extravaganza today. Scott and David until 10 p.m. Eastern time. NBA Finals. Not helping prop players, I will say. 25-15. OKC's on one of those little runs. We'll get back to that in a second. Just want to take a peek at the Major League Baseball because we do have some games. It's funny you mentioned the Cubs being shut out yesterday, Dave. Stanky's got shut out yesterday, too. And they're leading, not nearly as much as the Cubs are, 5-0, but it's 2-0 Stanks with Max Fried on the hill tonight. I'm not sure. I don't think we have a no-hitter in either one of those two. But
no.
Royals in St. Louis back and forth they got after having a good first game, 6-5 Kansas City going for the sweep in that one.
Yeah, that was a fun game yesterday. Another fun game today. Jack Caglione got his first hit today. He was in over 5 yesterday. He got his first hit today in RBI. Cardinals trends, 19-8 in the last 27, arguably playing way above expectations. 9-3 in their last 12 home games. Kansas City right now leading 6-5. Expect that one to keep going as far as the total. Look at that. What do we have, 15.5? Yeah, that's probably going over as well. So we'll see. How about this? I know you like stats and trends and numbers and stuff. It was all over the Cubs. So hopefully we get this Cubs one in. It was a cheap price to lay today with them bouncing back after being shut out. But how about this stat? The Washington Nationals, okay? Let me see. They're 4 wins away from a winning record, okay? How many days total do you think they've spent over 500 since winning the 2019 World Series? If I give you a guess, how many days, what would you say?
That was what, 4 years ago?
2019, Scott, was 6 years ago.
Oh, 2019? You say that. So
2019
that's
World
6,
Series.
right. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 5.5 seasons.
Yep.
Jeez. I know they fell off the map pretty quickly, but you're asking me, so there's got to be a reason. But I'll still say about 30.
6 days.
Wow.
6 days. They've spent
That's
over
funny.
500 since they won the World Series in 2019. I had to highlight that, and I had to mention that on the show. I love these stats. MLB Network guys really helped me out with some of this stuff. And I said that I cannot believe that. That is
And that's not even first place. Because I thought originally it was like first place. I'm thinking, okay, but that's not even first place. That's just over 500.
Over 500. Just over
Wow.
500. Yep.
They fell off the map completely, right? What was their record? Let me look it up.
I mean, think about all the guys
after
they had on
won.
that team when they won that World Series. I mean, right? They had Scherzer, they had Strasburg. You know, it was unbelievable. The team was great.
Yeah.
And
Harper was not on the team. Soto, where's Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2019.
They won
Incredible.
in 2019. How many games did they win the next year? They won the World Series. Wow. They went from winning the World Series to, we had the strikes or the COVID year.
The COVID year, 60 games.
Yeah, 26, but still 26 and 34. So they went
Right.
from being 93 and 69 to 8 games under 500 and headed to Nowheresville. And then it was just after that 65 wins, 55 wins, 71 back to back. They're actually halfway decent. 3 games, you said 4 games from being over 500 this year.
Yep.
I don't know if they get there or not, but at least they're showing a little life for the first time in 6 seasons.
And for sure, when Gore pitches, they're in the games. Right. Mackenzie Gore has been an unbelievable find and really pitched well for them. He's one of those ones that I think, you guys watching at home, if you are watching us tonight as a second screen experience with the NBA Finals, keep us on. If you're watching baseball, that's great. Reach out to us on the socials at SportsBK and Sig for me, at Opposite Picks for Scott. Tag SportsGrid. Let us know. The boys will maybe build you a graphic or two if you have any questions or want us to address something. But the Nationals are in a division that's really tough. So them being as close to 500 like that is actually even more impressive to me, right? So we'll see.
And think about this. Think about that Soto trade that they basically were forced to do. Well, I mean, they try and re-sign him. He just didn't want to re-sign there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
But they got C.J. Abrams, their starting shortstop, who looks like he's going to be a pretty good player, right? They got Wood, who's their left fielder, who looks like he's going to be a terrific player, and then they got Mackenzie Gore. So, and then I think they got 2 more guys too. But you got like 3 core pieces to your franchise in that trade.
Was a big haul. Was a big haul. First quarter's over. NBA Finals.
All right, what do we
Thunder
got?
29, Pacers 20. So cover the first quarter pretty comfortably, pretty easily. It's up to 12.5 in game, 220.5 for the total. And what? 10-1? You got to lay 10-1 now on the game on the money line? Woo, baby.
Bengals got an 850, but on a scale of 1 to 5.
Okay.
Give me
one being good or one being bad.
1 being bad.
Okay.
Give me your confidence in Oklahoma City winning this series as far as 7-1 favorites are concerned. Not, pick them or 20-1. Take all the 7-1 favorites. And where do you from 1 being bad, like not really confident, and 5 being, but it's a great bargain, 7-1. Where would you put this 7-1?
5.5. 5.5.
See,
I put it a little extra.
I think Indiana could actually just. I mean, I'm not seeing it tonight. I'm very disappointed in the start, but okay, it's sloppy basketball. This is why you get unders in game number 1, because 9 times out of 10 you have about a week off. So, and you can see it with both teams. But so you don't really give Indiana any shot then.
The difference is for me And I always do this when I look at, championship series against teams that don't play a lot. Defense. Who has the better defense? And if they have the better defense, do they have that much better of a defense? And I think OKC does. Now, the Pacers play a fun style basketball, score a lot of points. How many times do you see that happen, that defense wins championships that we've heard for years, decades? When it gets to the finals, the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals, even in the NHL sometimes, the best goalie, defense wins. And I think that's the difference for me. I've been listening and talking about it for a week. We finally got to Thursday night in Game 1. Sloppy basketball. Indiana's going to make adjustments. There's no question. And Carlisle's a great coach. And they're going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be enough to win a series.
Case in point, well, you got it without even knowing these numbers. Teams, Dave, that score 104 points or less in the NBA Finals, 7-34 straight up. Teams that score 105 points or more, 43-16 straight up in the games. I mean,
wow.
You said it.
Say that again.
Defense, if you score 104 points or less in NBA Final games, you're 7-34. If you score 105 points or more, you're 43-16. So that's the demarcation.
Indiana's team total tonight was 110.5. Dead under.
Dead under. Dead under. Adam Crawford comes up next here on the Grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. Check it out. NBA. Pacers are hanging around a little bit. Every time OKC makes a run, Indiana comes back a little bit, and then OKC spreads it back out to 9 or so, which is where it is now. 34-25 opening minutes of the second quarter. Over under 223.5, and then Thunder on FanDuel anyway laying 12.5. So let's talk a little NBA with our good buddy Adam Kaufman, SportsGrid radio TV host. You see it here all the time on the Grid. What's going on, Adam? How are you tonight?
So, Scott, I was chuckling because this game, I'm getting my pregame bets in and everything like that. And I had you in the back of my head because I kept thinking about that bet that you had placed in, I don't know how many times you did it between the Pacers and the Knicks, but that last game we were texting, you had the bet. Right. And, good number, right around minus 140 of both teams to score at least 20 points in every single quarter. And I just, these teams haven't played in like 7 weeks, so I'd kind of forgotten about it. And then I'm getting all my bets in, and I notice it's like 8:35, game starting at 8:36. And I look at that menu, that market on FanDuel, and it's there for an incredibly juiced minus 185, each of these teams to score 20 points in each quarter, because again, with the 230.5 pregame total, everybody expecting, including me, a really high scoring series. And I didn't get the bet in because it locked down me, and I was like, and then I'm watching the start of this game. I don't know if you made the bet today, if you were following this, but the Pacers had only 15 points in the opening quarter until there was about a minute left. And I'm thinking, man, dodged a bullet at least. And then somehow by whatever miracle, whatever gambling god a person prays to, the Pacers got 5 points in the last 60 seconds of the quarter to land on 20 on the nose at the end of one. But as I know you guys have been following, it's been all OKC so far.
No doubt. Yeah, that's one of those ones when you have the bet, it probably falls 19. And then when you don't have the bet, right, you get to the 20 and you're like, man, totally. Did that really just happen? So we're into the game now. It's the second quarter. You look at the points for OKC. SGA has 12. Caruso has 7. Hartenstein has 7. Williams has 5. They're spreading it out. Have you seen anything up to this point, Adam, that leads you to believe that this is not going to be sustainable? It feels like OKC is just passing the ball around, waiting for SGA to get in a good spot, and then if it's not him, it's somebody else. This looks, I don't want to say it looks too easy, but does it look too easy so far?
It should, guys. I mean, I don't think I'm alone in this. I've been saying since we knew what the series was going to be, even since before that, when it looked like the Pacers were going to beat the Knicks, a lot of the conversation on these shows is, how would you invest in the NBA Finals? Because obviously you're not going to lay the minus 700 whatever in OKC on the money line. So how do you look to get creative? And in my mind, and I've probably said this to you guys once before, my feeling was this is not going to be a long series. This is not going to be a terribly difficult series for Oklahoma City. So there are 2 different ways that I would approach it. Either do the minus 1.5 on the series spread for OKC, still heavily juiced, but as opposed to minus 700, it's in the vicinity of, say, minus 250, minus 275. That at least you can attempt to find some value and believe that Indiana's not going to push this to a 7th game unless there's a calamity like SGA, the MVP, getting hurt in game 1 and he never returns in the series. And then, all right, you give Indiana life at that point in time. So that's the one way. I wouldn't go with the minus 2.5, or wouldn't have, because, what if Indiana does somehow go to 6? And that sort of brings me to the other. I would have put down money on both OKC in 5 and OKC in 6. Getting plus money on both, and you profit either way as long as obviously the Thunder don't sweep, get pushed to 7, or outright lose the series. And I don't believe that any of those things are going to happen. I have enough respect for what the Pacers have done during this postseason to believe they're going to steal a game at some point, be it somehow, some way on the road, or obviously in their own building when it goes back there for games 3 and 4. But generally, I don't think this is going to be a tough series for Oklahoma City. You said it earlier. You said, I think Indiana's going to be okay. You know what Indiana's not going to be? OKC. This team is just better, Dave. It's just a considerably better team. It's a deeper team, and they are playing, if you're watching, I know you guys, aren't in hosting the show, able to watch every detail of it. But for anyone out there that is doing the split screen, multi-screen, whatever, like Oklahoma City is playing incredible defense. Has already turned over Indiana 9-10 times when I had come on, not fully taking advantage in terms of the points off turnovers because the Thunder aren't shooting the ball particularly well, which is why they're only up by 9 points right now. But it shouldn't be that challenging a series, guys. It really shouldn't.
You know what's amazing to me, though, is like if you look at OKC's roster, Adam, how many guys would you want on your team? 2. I mean, you want Chet Holmgren?
OKC?
Okay,
No, you're nuts.
Yeah. No, they don't have anybody on their team. They got Jalen Williams and SGA. That's it.
Hartenstein was awesome for the Knicks last year. Chet Holmgren is a player. Alex Caruso off the bench. You are out of your mind, dude.
You're talking about guys who couldn't cut it with the Knicks and Chicago Bulls. They're 2-bit players. They're decent players. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're a bunch of nobodies.
Put them in the right situation with the right teammates and the right coaching, and what you get is a statistically historical team that when it wins this title will be at the beginning of what could be an absurd dynasty that we may witness in the next handful of years in the NBA. This team is incredible, guys. As long as it can stay healthy, as long as it keeps its pieces together. But no, I mean, any team in the NBA would pick at least a half dozen teams, a half dozen guys off this roster to put on their teams. I'm not saying, like, is SGA the best player in the world? He's not. He's the MVP. He's not the best player in the world. I know there are people that quibble about why those aren't the same thing. They're just not. But Jalen Williams is an all-star and also if I'm not mistaken, I think he was third team All-NBA. So that, in terms of this year specifically,
third team All-NBA. You're talking about the greatest team of all time, and you're giving me a third
15 player. That's a top 15 player in the NBA. That's a top 15 player in the NBA. If he is an all third teamer. No, this is the best team in the NBA. This team has won. They've won like 80. Yes. Have they won? How many games have they won so far in this postseason? 4, right? To 12, 16. They won
80 wins.
80 games.
80 wins.
They've won 80 games so far this year. 80 games, and they're going to win 4 more. Yeah, this team is pretty damn good. Holy smokes! You've had some takes, man, but that one is up there.
Talk to you later.
The Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, thanks again to Adam Coffin, who, once again, I like the headband there, taking the argument out of context. Once again, you won the argument. It's like dealing with the wife. You won the argument when they bring in a different subject or they veer off. It's like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't wash the dishes, all right? You don't cook and clean. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about you working. This is, So I'm not saying, Dave, Thunder by 8, 41-33, 10.5 and 224 now. I'm not saying OKC has not had a great season. I mean, obviously they've had a great season. What I'm saying is that if you were doing a draft to start a team, you'd only take two guys from OKC. And one of them, Jalen Williams, if you look at his number, was atrocious the first part of this postseason. He was choking left and right. I mean, how many games did he have? 4 or 5 that he didn't score even 10 points. So it's a marvel at their ability to win these games so easily, even the entire season. If you're giving me Alex Caruso, the 31-year-old bald-headed beagle, he's bounced around the NBA worse than Spalding. I mean, he's a nobody.
Don't be picking on my brother. That's my guy right there. I mean, look at this. We could be twins when we look like this, right?
True. They got a lot of solid players, but they're not great. They only had 3 guys averaging double digits.
But they play good together, Scott. I think that's what is underestimated, right? They play very good together, and the coach has them all bought in. I mean, there is no ego at all with this team. It starts with SGA all the way down. So, I mean, you see it in the post game. Apparently, this is a very close team. They do a lot of stuff together. They play defense. There's 12 turnovers for the Pacers so far in the first half. There's 12 turnovers for the Pacers, 3 for OKC. 41-34, 8-point lead. Or no, that's 7 points. It's 11.5. Total keeps going down to 220.5. So, boy, that Pacers team total looks like that's going to be way under. That's way under pace. The Pacers haven't had a lead yet. I'll ask you this. Will the Pacers have a lead tonight at any point?
No. I would have taken that bet before the game. But at this point, they're coming close to getting within the 4, 5, 6, and then OKC goes off on that little run. I shouldn't say that because I still think they can win the game. So you know what? I'll change that. I'll say
okay.
No, I'll say yes because you know what they're doing. Let's look at it from a positive Pacer point of view. They're surviving the storm. You knew OKC was going to come out flying, right? They've been waiting a week for this. Fans are great. They don't lose at home. I'm sure if you're Rick Carlisle, Pacers head coach, you said, let's survive the first half, right? Let's not let this be a 20-point game by halftime. And,
correct.
They've done that. They might be trailing, but they're down only 6 with 5.5 left. And, I think secretly, if you told Carlisle you'd be down 5, 6, 7 at halftime, would you take it? I think he'd say, yeah, you know what? I would. It puts us in a position to win.
I don't even think there's a question he would take it. If this is under double digits at halftime, I think we're good. I mean, as far as if you're Indiana, let's just, like you said, survive the first quarter. All right, we were down. Wasn't that close. Chip away, keep it within striking distance. Anything at 6 or less is a win for Indiana. And what was the first half number? What did it close? Let me double check that right now. First half total side 6 and 113 was the closing number. So
113.
Wow. I don't think we're going to get to 113. 44-37, 4.5 minutes to go. No, I don't think we're getting there. So that thing's going to go under. OKC could still cover the 6, though. They could still cover the 6. Yeah.
That'd be tough, just corner my eye watching. Obviously, we're doing our own thing here, but corner my eye, looks like, OKC has kind of controlled things. So if they are not leading by 6, that would be a tough little beat if you had them laying the 6. So, but yeah, unders, in game 1, the question is, listen, there's a long way to go, but do they adjust the line that much, or do they take into account, all right, they haven't played in a week, we're going to keep it at 230, 231? Because I do think it's going to be an over series, but I'd like the under tonight.
Okay. I have a small request. When we come out of the break, I'd like to bring us back in because I have a question for you about a number, if we would move it or not.
A number.
All right.
Okay, there you go. How about that? That's the tease in Game Live.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of thoughts.
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live right here on SportsGrid. NBA Finals Game 1. I'm Dave Sharapan. With me, as always, is Scott Wetzel. He's usually driving, and I'm in a passenger seat. But right now, I had a quick request to come back to me so I could ask Scott this question, because we've been asking this question as it's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me all the time. I'm a lifelong Steeler fan. When are we going to have a quarterback? And today, that question was answered. Okay, we finally, officially, Aaron Rodgers is going to announce it, I guess, tomorrow, and, everything's going to be fine and everything, we have a quarterback. Him and Mason Rudolph is the backup, and we'll go from there. But the number to make the playoffs, okay, the Steelers is minus 210 to the no. Scott Wetzel, the question I'm asking you, okay, they're obviously still the third best team in the division behind Baltimore and Cincinnati, who are both big pluses on the no to make the playoffs because they're going to both make the playoffs. Is that number good, bad, indifferent, and would you lay it if you think – do you think the Steelers are going to make the playoffs now that it's official that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the quarterback?
No. Would I lay 210 straight, like if I couldn't put in a parlay? No, I probably wouldn't do that. That's okay. Enough of a number where I think people won't play it straight. You're only going to get yes money, which is what they want. And I don't think they're making the playoffs. I've seen Aaron Rodgers. You want to make the argument you can that it's been 5 seasons since he's really been good. His last year in Green Bay, he was awful. He blows out his knee the next year. Last season with the Jets, he was awful. It wasn't awful, but if you watch the games, he was in so many games, Dave, where they had a chance to either tie or win in last-minute drives, and he failed in every single one of them. I mean, there were like 6 of them. But his numbers weren't awful. So you really got to go back 5 seasons ago to his next to last year in Green Bay before you got, the real Aaron Rodgers that we think of when we say Aaron Rodgers. So a year later, is he going to be any better after having this, whatever you want to call it, little rendezvous, this off season, showing that he really isn't, to me, seeming interested in playing football in that division, cold weather? Nah, I don't think so.
You're not buying it. Okay.
Not buying it.
I just wanted to make sure because, we got people watching the show. Jay Buck, I see you, interacting, posting pictures of us at Twitter, watching us at work. We appreciate that. I got Coach King, tagging us and asking us questions. If you guys are watching, if you want to tag us, put it out there on the Twitter, please do so. If you think the Steelers are going to make the playoffs. I also agree with you. I don't think they're making the playoffs. It's going to give us something to talk about. There's going to be a lot of content there. I would love for him to be healthy in a 1-year deal and play at least 13, maybe 14 games and see what could happen. The beginning of the schedule, you can't write it any better. I mean, they play the Jets at the Jets in the first game. They're -3 favored at the Jets. Justin Fields against the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers against the Jets. Perfect. Game 2 is at home against Seattle, which is the DK Metcalf game.
Right.
And then a few weeks later, we got a primetime game. The Steelers host Green Bay on a Sunday night. Like the schedule makers, man, they hit that one out of the park, Wetzel. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better as far as storylines. But the Steelers back end of the schedule is just treacherous. And that's when it gets cold. That's when 41-year-old quarterbacks maybe get dinged up. They are going to have a tough time, I think, in the back end of that schedule. So they better get a lot of wins early.
Yeah, that's right. You couldn't have really, you said it, asked for a better situation for him. I mean, at the Jets, you got some rivalry things thrown in. I forgot about the Metcalf thing with Seattle, but at least that's at home. And, you better make damn sure he's throwing DK Metcalf the ball 20 times that game. So you got that. Then you got at New England, which is winnable. Then you got the Vikings. That's over in Europe. That's a winnable game. You get a bye, then you come back home and you play Cleveland. I mean, that's 5 games. Can you go 4-1?
Wow.
If you're a playoff team, you go 4-1. If you're going to be a 500 team, you go. Well, if you can only go 3-2 with Buffalo, Baltimore, Detroit,
2 and 3.
Yeah, and Baltimore twice on your schedule. Still, Chargers on the road, Bengals twice. You got to go 4-1 to be a playoff team with that because you got to assume you're going to lose most of those games.
Yeah,
how long?
like I said,
over under. You're the book. Hey, Dave, give us an over under on Rodgers games starting this season. Knowing that schedule,
12 and a half.
Oh, oof. I was going to say about 7.5.
No, whoa.
12 and a half is 5,
I think
6,
he knows.
7,
I think
8,
he
9,
knows
10.
this is it. I think he knows this is it.
Yeah, he has to. Right.
So I think he plays differently, protects himself best he can. I think the Steelers put him in a position to succeed, at least defensively. Don't take chances. There's not going to be a lot of rollouts and all that other stuff. I don't think. I think there's going to be a lot of quick passes. Get rid of the ball. You got to keep him upright. You have to. So I think he plays double-digit games. I really do. You really don't think he plays double-digit games? He only plays less than half the games? Oh, boy.
I think he's going to get killed. I think he's going to be awful. They got Mason Rudolph for whatever reason they really like. Their season's going to be at, if he doesn't do well, it's like kind of make or break. The only thing I would say is, does he have like a written or unwritten rather guarantee? Like, all right, you sign with us.
Yeah.
We're going to give you every benefit. Kind of like I always thought Cam Newton had up in New England. Every benefit in the doubt that you'll stay in there. We're not going to take you out. I promise. Because if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're kind of hemming and hawing on whether you really want to play, you got to say, listen, I'm not coming out of retirement to get lifted after 5-6 games. You got to you got to tell me right now. If that's the leash I have, then I'm not coming out. You got to give me at least 10, 11, 12 games to really kind of work myself into this thing. So if he has that guarantee, then yes. But if they're 0-4, losing to those teams, or 1-3, 1-4, yeah, I would, Steeler fans better than anyone. You think they're going to sit around saying, okay, we're going to give Aaron Rodgers the benefit of the doubt?
No, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. I tell you that right now. It's going to get ugly, kind of like the basketball game's getting. It's 57-45 at halftime. OKC's up 12.
Ooh. Under the number we wanted. You wanted to get in there at 8-9 like we talked about.
Right.
57.
Yep.
All
so
right.
down 12, 102. So under the first half total. The adjusted in-game totals down to 218. Jeez, that's low. Is that the bottom? Do you go over that number? I mean, the turnovers are up to 18 turnovers to 4.
Wow.
18 turnovers in the first half. Rest, defense, all of it. That was ugly.
I'll tell you what. We got that goofy bet. Will someone set the NBA Finals record for 8 steals in a game? Good old Lou Dort, superstar, that we all know he is. Every team in the world would take him. He's got 4. He's got 4.
Whoa.
Halfway home. What'd that pay? Let me see. 8.
That was
that like 100 to 1? I think that was 100 to 1.
It was close. 75 or 80 to 1?
100 to 1. We're halfway home to 100 to 1 ticket. I'm rooting out for OKC. Sorry, Indiana.
Man.
Keep on throwing the ball away. Keep on throwing it to Lou Dort. I don't know who he's guarding, but let's just hope he's guarding that same person second half.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Jeez.
Let me see if they're offering me a buyout. I'm ready to bail. I bail at everything. What do you think? 100 to 1. If I got $10 on it, would you offer me a buyout?
No.
Not yet. Nada. Pause. Dan Stewart coming up next.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. On a day in which the Oakland A's win, the Chicago White Sox win. Can it translate into the Indiana Pacers so far? No. But let's see if we get some winners from our good buddy Cam Stewart, who takes over at the top of the hour along with Gabe Morency for the next 2 here on SportsGrid TV, SportsGrid Radio. What's going on, Cam? How are you tonight, bud?
Doing pretty good, Scott. Almost hit the big one today at the Canadian Open. Jake Afternoon Nap was right there, but I did each way him. So I'm like, ooh, I looked at my account and I was like, okay, because it basically was zero for all my golf bets. I look and I go, whoa, there's $600 in there. So as I tell people before, he's 80-1. You each weigh the guy for a top 5 or 6 and you get paid. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't even put that much on it. It was like $20 or whatever like that. So that's the whole beautiful thing. And he finished there. But yeah, no one was catching Thorbjorn Olesen. I had him in my picks last night for a top 20. Didn't have him for first round leader. It's the worst too, Dave. Like I write down all my first round leaders, but I can't take 12 guys. He was like number 8. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, got to put a cross through guys. Yeah, but I keep the other idiots. Anyway, let's talk basketball. What do you want to talk?
Yeah.
CFL football?
No, baskets. Let's go baskets.
Let's talk
first.
basketball.
We got to have
Let's take the Pacers here.
first.
Pacers.
Yep.
Pacers down 12, plus 14.5. I'll bite. I think these guys can hang. That first half was an absolute abomination with the turnovers. Scott, it sounds like you were hooing and hawing. What do you got, Lou Dort? What's that bet at 100-1 that you were going to cash out for like $20?
8 steals. Anybody to get 8 steals in a game, he's got 4.
Okay.
That's
And what does it pay?
record.
What does it pay?
100-1. 100 to
What'd you
1.
put on it? What'd you put on it?
$10. $10.
So it pays $1,000. What are they
$1,000.
offering you? What are they offering you?
Nothing
yet.
right now, unfortunately.
Nothing.
But if they
As I
were,
told Dave, hey, Wetzel, let the sauce simmer. Just give a couple plays in the third quarter, right? Like, you know what I'm saying, Dave?
Look, this guy's break his leg. My
It's like
leg,
mama
come out and break
sauce.
a leg
Just
in the first minute.
enough. We're not cashing out. We're not going to the fast food. Just sit down. It's on the stove. Just let it do its thing. Like let the flavors marinate. Come on, Scott. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, take $20 in the thing? Just let it happen. And if they offer you an appropriate cash out, then you take it. But then again, I'm a jackass for telling you what to do with your money. I do a lot of stupid things with my money, like dumber than you. So I'm just suggesting, Dave, you're his colleague. Please back me up on this one. Can we give it a few more minutes before he starts thinking about like making $20 instead of his like friggin' bet? Like, come on.
I think
Scott.
we got to get to 6 steals before we even open it back up.
Good call.
We don't have to even look at it. I mean, it's great he got 4 in the first half. They're up 12. Hopefully Indiana can, make it a little bit of a game and, Dort plays a lot. Otherwise, he's not even going to play and you're going to get aggravated and not get 2 steals.
Right.
Cam,
yeah,
we got to ask you, what was your takeaway from the Stanley Cup last night? That was a hell of a hockey game. It was a great game. It went over the total. Edmonton came back. It's the first time that Florida lost a game when leading by 2 goals, 23-0. All right. What do you take away from that? What do you see for game 2?
I got to tell you, Dave, it's nice to hit the withdraw button because me and Morency were going nuts last night. Like, I had Edmonton plus 215 live, game to go to overtime. Like, it was one of those nights I'm thinking, I go, for Heggie points, like, it was good. Like, the props were good. Everything was good. Edmonton dominated, I thought, late in that game and in overtime, and it was a justified win. And I really think I think they learned something. You got to get traffic in front of Bobrovsky or else he's going to save everything he can see. And that's what they started to do. Guys cutting inside and outside. And, you saw pucks go under, his glove and stuff like that. So that's what you got to do. You got to go get ugly and dirty and get traffic. But I got to tell you, if that's going to be the Stanley Cup final, I'm all in. That was a fantastic game. Lots of hitting, physical. Skinner let in a couple goals early. He battled back. I just thought it was a fantastic win. Huge win for the Oilers, too, after going down 3-0 last year, getting that first win. But if they can take care of business and get a second win at home, then we're talking. That's going to be huge. And we'll see what happens. If they go up 2-0 and then they can take it back to Florida, a little pressure on the Panthers. But I thought that was a fantastic hockey game, guys, and everything I expected.
The surprise for me was not that Edmonton outshot them 46-32, but the hits were dead even.
I know.
They each had 51 hits. Edmonton's physical presence really impressed me. Like I thought, because of the talk.
You know
and
what it is,
everything,
Dave? They have guys
What
who are
is it?
tough. Like Evander Kane is a killer. Like I watch this guy play
Yeah.
live a million times. Like he can put you through glass. He can kill you. Like when he's engaged in a hockey game, he murders people. Like he always finishes his check. Connor Brown's one of those guys. He'll get in your face. Like Edmonton has a lot of sandpaper guys. They have big defensemen too. Like Ekholm's like a Swedish Viking. Like you know what I mean? Like they got these guys who are not afraid of Florida. Florida will play their little games, and you know what I mean. They'll cheat. They're a smart hockey team, but Edmonton's not afraid of them. That's the whole thing. This Oilers team is a lot more physical, and I got to give them credit. Their third and fourth line really stepped up. Like guys you wouldn't think, like Kapanen and all these other guys that they've added. Their depth players have been really, really good. So yeah, Dave, I think the physicality works both ways. Like Florida gets all the headlines for it, but Edmonton can play that game now. That's the whole thing about the Oilers. They've evolved. They could play like a 3-1 game. They could play a 5-4 game. They could do a lot of different things. And if Skinner can maintain his confidence, I feel very, very good about the Oilers. I have Oilers in 6. So I know, like, we'll see. I think it's going to be a great series. Guys, the CFL opened up tonight. Just to give you a live line, it's tied 7-7 right now in the second quarter between Saskatchewan and Ottawa. I like the under 49.5 live, even though we're at 14 points. The money line is Saskatchewan minus 160, spread 3.5. I don't like to go like over certain amount on the money line, but that's right around my threshold because they could win the game, in my opinion, by like 3 or 4. It's a good line by the book, but I like under 49.5 live in the CFL game.
Too bad they don't let you parlay that. At least not at FanDuel. I'm trying to.
I know, right? I know. I tried that too, Scott. I was on 2 different books and they didn't let me parlay.
Yeah.
I got to find one that lets me parlay live totals and whatever. Then if you really like the total, you could take both teams. If you think it's a toss-up and get plus money on both sides and do that, right? But yeah, I like Saskatchewan. They were down 7-0 this game. Very good game so far. And but I think under 49.5 is my favorite play in this game.
All right, there you go. A little under from Cam. Cam, great job. I know you and Gabe, no doubt, we're talking about the other games this weekend. More golf picks, I'm sure, as well. And then you guys will continue to follow the NBA. So, Cam, great job as always. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
You got it, man. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy.
You got it, man.
Thanks,
Cam and Gabe, top of the hour. Dave and I will wrap up shop next here on the Grid.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Boy, that was fast. Boy, it seemed like about 90 minutes, not the full 120. Oh, that's right, it was. It was only an hour and a half today. Just because the NBA Finals are starting. Full 2 hours tomorrow. So Cam and Gabe, top of the hour. No doubt they'll follow the NBA. A couple baseball games. In fact, you got a late baseball game because I'm guessing this is the only time, really, that Pittsburgh is going to be hosting Houston this year. So they're going to wait around forever. So I don't know how many people are at that poor stadium waiting for that game to start, but they're saying right around 10 o'clock or so. I mean, there probably weren't that many people to begin with. What are you going to get, like 300, 400, 500 people, Dave? That would you wait around that long for a Pirate Houston Astros game starting at maybe 10 o'clock?
The weather would have to be really comfortable, and I would have to be off of work likely the next day. That might be one of those ones where I'm like, you know what, we can't even stay. But, I mean, what's the longest you ever waited for a rain delay? Me and the kids a few years ago took a trip up to Fenway. First time ever. We're in Boston. It's an absolute deluge. I mean, it looks like it's not going to stop raining for 24 hours. We're sitting in Fenway Park, and you know the way the water runs in there. I thought we're never going to play.
Yeah.
There is no way we're playing tonight. And the girls were like, yeah, we'll get ice cream. We'll hang out. We'll listen to the music, blah, 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 blah. I kept saying, we're going to go back to the hotel. We're not staying. They're not going to play. Well, we waited 3.5 hours, and it was against the Kansas City Royals. And everyone left. They started the game just after 10 o'clock local. There was no one in the stands. We got a foul ball. They hit a foul ball over the first base side. It bounced right up to my daughter. There wasn't a soul around us. We had the whole section to ourselves. That's the longest we ever waited for a rain delay. And it was worth it because we ended up getting a foul ball. We were at Fenway, and we were in Boston for 24 hours. We weren't leaving. We saw the night game, then the day game the next day, and we were out. So it was worth it. I don't think I'd stay tonight if I was in Pittsburgh. You?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Well, you're right. That is the best chance of getting a foul ball. I think the longest I stayed was about an hour for a Yankee Red Sox game growing up, when we used to go to the games. Nothing like crazy after that. So one quick shout out to poor Atlanta Brave fans today. Oh, did you see what happened to them? They gave up 7 runs, Dave, in the top of the ninth. They go to the top of the ninth, getaway day, right? No reason to play if you're the Arizona Diamondbacks. You've already taken the first 2 of the series. Just get out of town. They get 1 out. They strike out the first batter in the top of the ninth. Ball game over, right? I don't know what the odds would have been, right? You tell me if they still put odds up with a 10-4 lead, nobody on, 1 out in the top of the ninth, and the Diamondbacks score 7 runs from that point on, and they win 11-10. Oh, you talk about a bad beat.
10-4. 10-4 going to the ninth. It's over 100-1. Right? It probably land 100-1 or 80-1. The takeback's probably 25 or 30-1 on the money line. For sure, it's plus 6.5. I mean, plus 5.5. Will they score? You're thinking, as that number, you put it up, will the Diamondbacks score 1? Not 7. 11-10. They win the game. 10-4 goes to 11-10. Boy, Atlanta's really struggling. They lose yesterday with Sale in a low-scoring game. They lose today with a big lead. Things are going bad in Atlanta. That's not good for them. I don't want to say they're done, but it's getting to the point now where, they're talking about it for your Red Sox. They're definitely talking about it for my Pirates, where they're starting to pilfer or going to go after certain guys. Atlanta may be sellers at the deadline if this continues.
Chris Sale, I don't know what his contract situation is. I don't think he re-signed with Atlanta. Mets, That's not bad, right? If you want to make, you want a guy that's pitched in World Series and stuff.
In the division?
They give you a prospect. Yeah. They give you the best player. What's the difference? Right? You reason it as, well, he's probably not going to re-sign. I think this is his last year. I'll double check, but he's not going to re-sign anyway with them if it is his last year. If I get the best prospect for the Mets, what do I care? Phillies?
Well, the Yankees will be bidders. I think he'll go to the American League. Tigers? Put him with Scooble? 1-2? See you later, baby. Wrap it up.
Don't tell me anybody but the Dodgers. I'll even take the stank.
Please.
Just the Dodgers can't do it, right?
Can't do
right?
it.
I mean, the baseball would have a fit if they did that.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Detroit would be nice. Detroit, Philadelphia.
Oof.
Yeah, we can't have that. All right.
Good job, boys.
Nope. I'm saying Pacers still win. Let's go, Indiana. You can do it, boys.